Hello, everybody. Thank you all for joining me. We've had 4 prospects lined up for us that we're going to go through today. So we're going to start at customer profile number 1. It is the Parker Family Poultry located in Dalhart, Texas. They are a 3rd-generation broiler operation located outside of Dalhart, Texas. The farm is run by siblings Ryan and Morgan Parker. They took over the business from their father. The operation consists of 6 broiler houses, each holding 30,000 birds, producing multiple flocks per year for a regional integrator. The Parkers pride themselves on maintaining a high level of efficiency and bird health. While staying up to date with the latest advancements in poultry management, they recently transitioned from tunnel vented houses and have been exploring ways to improve water efficiency and overall bird performance. The farm employs several full-time workers and that relies on automated systems to streamline the operations. So kind of right off the bat here, we don't really have too much about the family other than they're a 3rd-generation farmers, and so I think that's something for me myself. We have a high fence ranch out of what's it called? Leakey, Texas. That's what it was. Oh. I couldn't remember the name. So, but I think ranching and kind of just farming in general, we kind of have that connection we can build with this customer.
Right. I think another thing that I would like to ask is, what got them into broiler production? Like, was it a college thing, or did they start kind of? I guess they inherited it from their family, but where does their passion come from?
Yeah, definitely. I think some probing questions we could ask is, we understand that you maintain new and latest broiler operations and such, but I would like to know, is there any sickness that's going on? They said that they like to keep their birds in good health, so I wonder what type of sickness they've had in the past, and if there's any flaws with their old systems that we could potentially change for them.
I definitely agree with that. We might be able to add that because Cumberland is so big on animal welfare, we could definitely add that.
Yeah.
I think a key takeaway from the profile itself is they want to remain automated for the most part. I know it says they employ several full-time workers, but it says they rely on automated systems. I think it's very important to hit the fact that we are an automated system, and there's very minimal actual input from a human that goes into the system. And so I think that'd be a really good selling point for this.
Yeah, definitely. Right. Some features and benefits definitely could go with that too. Just how easy our system is to operate. We have an app, we have a bunch of things that just make it super easy, especially for their workers to use.
No, and I think a big thing will, be kind of showing them our app and all of the advanced technology we use, like the fact that we can raise and lower the systems, we can flush water through, all of the things that our system can do that's kind of newer in bird watering would be a great way to really get them understanding the product.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And this is kind of going back to the needs and wants. They said that they want to improve water efficiency and overall bird performance with, our product having a direct stream of water going to your birds at all time. Right. I mean, that is a feature and a benefit, but for sure, that would be something that I would like to bring up to this customer.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Piggybacking off what you had said, I think them wanting to raise multiple flocks per year in these barns, the ability to raise and lower the watering system itself is going to be pretty crucial in this as well.
For sure.
I also think going back to bird health, we have a super efficient way of just opening the valve and flushing out our system so that they can clean their system in between flocks. So I think that's a really good benefit to add too.
Yes. I think a good complementary product or something we can sell with the system that typically we sell is our litter guard cups. They'll keep the bedding from being damp, which can help with animal welfare and also lower cost for the farmer for the input cost as well.
Right. Definitely. So moving on to objections, it says that they employ several full-time workers, which definitely is costly whenever you have that many workers. So I think the cost of our system could be a objection, but I think we can settle that with the really good quality and efficiency of our system.
Yeah, so moving into the product that I would sell, obviously since they are a broiler operation, I would sell our broiler high flow nibble. So I think another great question that we should ask is, what does their budget look like? Just so we can see if they're wanting to fully go in with all their houses or if they want to break it up, and we can really just kind of get that settled. So the budget and what they're wanting to do with their houses.
Yeah, I think moving on to profile number 2 here, we're going to knock it off to Lillian right here.
All right. West Texas Egg Company is a commercial layer facility located near Lubbock, owned by a longtime industry professional, Mark Simmons. The operation houses 450,000 laying hens and multiple high-raised layer houses, supplying eggs to grocery stores and food service producers providers across Texas. With strong emphasis on biosecurity and production efficiency, the farm has gradually implemented automation systems to improve labor efficiency and reduce stress on birds. Mark works alongside his two sons, who manage daily operations and equipment maintenance. As an operation that must maintain strict water quality and availability for peak egg production, the company continuously evaluates new technology to ensure consistent performance in their facilities. So getting started with this, some probing questions that I would personally ask, or not some probing questions, some rapport building that I would do with this customer, would ask what I would personally ask what it's like having so many hens in a house, 450,000 birds, that is so many, and I've never talked to anybody with a facility that big, so that's personally what I would do.
I agree. I want to point out, it's 450,000 in multiple high-rise layer houses, so kind of contrary to what you said, but there are multiple houses, so I think that is pretty manageable. I would be really curious to ask, what is kind of like the budget here? Because we're obviously talking about a very large operation here, and so I think money's going to play a huge factor, especially when he's working with contracts with egg-laying hens.
Right. I think another big thing will be, what does their barn look like? You know, in multiple high-rise layer houses, like, you know, what's the square footage? How many rows, how many watering systems do we think they'll need, or how many are they using right now? You know, just to see kind of what we're looking at on that aspect of things.
Definitely. I know that some of their needs and wants are the efficiency of the production, water quality, and technology, which I think our system really hits all three of those points for them. Talking about new technology, we have our app and a lot of great things with that. The water quality, we have great water quality, and then efficiency. Our system is the most efficient in the game right now, so I think that's really great to touch on.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely offering the app to this customer, I think, would be a huge benefit for them, as they want to have the technology. Like you said, it hits all the points.
Right.
Yeah.
I think a big thing that they'll really like is the litter guard cups. They're super great on, you know, maintaining, as they wanted, biosecurity and keeping everything super healthy and, you know, away from bacteria and any bad bacteria or growth that we could see within water and watering systems.
Definitely.
I agree.
Moving on to some objections, I'm sure with 450,000 laying hens, obviously, as Peyton said, it's going to be very costly, so I think that the cost could be an objection, and we definitely need to settle that with just telling them about how great our system is and how it really is an investment.
Right, and asking, you know, about the budget.
Definitely.
What does that look like? Because, you know, if they have a big budget, then it'll be pretty easy to get some systems in there, but we really have to work with the budget, so that could be an objection.
Kind of throwing it back to the rapport side. It said he had two sons, so I think it's going to be important. I mean, obviously, I'm going to inherit the ranch, so I think having kids in agriculture and stuff like that's going to be another huge fact. Kind of just going back to the rapport I had with the previous customer with the high fence. You know, it's just all the keeping in the family kind of thing. You know, it's really easy to talk to someone that wants to keep their business in the family.
Yeah.
Right, for sure.
Well, I think a product that we could offer to this, in addition to the litter guard cups, would be the Feather Soft Come By Regular Flow Nipple.
Agreed.
I think that would be the best one for this customer.
Yeah, it's our Lara nipple, and it's great for the production that they do.
Although,
Definitely.
for an introduction, we should bring up the price, because it is our most expensive product or nipple that we're offering, so.
That is true. That is a very
It's all
good
about
point.
budget, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're all in agreement with Feather Soft Combine?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Let's move on to customer 3. High Plains Heritage Farm is a pasture-raised poultry operation located near Hereford, Texas, specializing in organic and free-range broiler and layer production. Owned and operated by Sarah and Ben Martinez, the farm supplies fresh poultry and egg to local farmers markets, specialty groceries, and restaurants in the Amarillo and Lubbock areas. Their operation includes 4 mobile broiler houses, each holding 3,000 birds, along with a separate pasture-based laying flock of 5,000 hens. Sarah and Ben have built a reputation for high-quality, sustainable poultry, and they are consistently searching for improvements to their watering systems that can meet the needs of the birds raised in open-air rotating pasture setups.
Well, this is something different.
Yeah, it's
Definitely.
definitely a smaller, like, more local facility that we're working with this one.
Right, and I'd really love to get kind of a basis on what did this look like and what they get started
Yeah.
into it? Like how?
I think I
how
can
did
help you with
come
that.
up?
So when it comes to mobile houses, they're houses that are typically either on wheels that can come up, so that way you're able to move the hens to different pastures and stuff like that. That way they're able to graze different areas instead of keeping them maybe in a barn where you're having to pay for their bedding and stuff. You literally just use the pasture,
That's
and so they're
really
able to
neat.
move it around and stuff like that. So I think it's really
Very
really.
neat.
It's very good for the well-being of the chicken. It keeps them, they can say pasture raised, so that's like a huge thing for animal welfare kind
Right,
of stuff.
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's really a huge thing to hit on this. But my kind of question would be, are they able to what's like the water source and stuff like that? Like, are they currently using like a bucket or what is currently in place?
Yeah, and do they have
Definitely.
like hoses connected to the pastures or the houses? That'd be a great thing to ask.
That's a good
Definitely. Yeah, so I think going into some rapport, restaurants in Amarillo and Lubbock, I know that my family always goes skiing and we definitely stop in Amarillo and eat at the restaurants there. So I'd love to know which restaurants they are supplying their eggs to or
For sure.
their chickens just to see, what we could connect on there.
Yeah, I used to grow up in Lubbock, so that is a huge part of my life, and I wonder if I have eaten at some of those restaurants.
I know,
that they supply
right?
their
That's
eggs
so
to.
interesting.
For sure.
Definitely. So some probing questions definitely could be, what water do you have right now? Like you said, the bucket.
Yeah, what watering system?
You have on our competitors? What can we do for you with watering? So
You know, and I think a great thing to also ask would be like, what kind of do they not like about their currently watering systems? Like after we get the basis for that, you know, what would they want to improve on?
definitely.
I think it'd be kind of interesting, as you are talking about how they sell to local specialty grocers. So that kind of goes back to like being able to say it was pasture raised and stuff. So I think that's kind of a cool thing we can do.
Definitely. I know pasture raised definitely lights some light bulbs for people whenever they go grocery shopping. So
right.
Yeah, for sure.
definitely.
So I think another probing question would be budget again, just because they are kind of on the smaller side. So I'd really want to get a basis for that and see kind of what we could do with that moving forward. And seeing as they are kind of a vast variety of birds, I think it'd be also a great question to see kind of what do they want to start with? Do we want to start with like the broiler side of it or the layer production?
Definitely. I was just
That's
about
a
to talk
really
about
good
that.
question for you to ask.
Just specifying, do you want to do both? Do you just want to start with layers? Do you want to start with broilers? I think that's a very good
And I
question
think,
to ask.
clarifying what the budget would be would help us decide just because the layers have the more expensive nipple and the broilers are a little bit
Yeah.
on the moderate cost side.
Definitely.
Yeah, and because, they have the two different kinds of birds, and it's a smaller facility. This is completely going back to budget and kind of reiterating what you said. But if they don't have a system in place, would they be interested in purchasing the whole system?
Definitely. So I think once we determine, do you want to do both? Do you want to do one or the other? For the broilers, we're going to go probably with the Feather Soft High Flow. That is our broiler nipple. And then for the layers, we'll go with the Feather Soft Combi Regular. Is everybody in agreement with that? That's
Yes.
good?
I
Okay,
agree with
awesome.
that.
So
Yeah.
I think we'll just ask them, and then we can definitely go in and talk to them about the features and benefits of each nipple and just see where their head's at.
And I think a great thing would also be kind of just to get them to understand what exactly a automated watering system is. Just because we don't really know what they use, but I think it's kind of a different concept, and sometimes it can be a little more complicated or a little bit apprehensive for the buyer, just because it seems like a lot going into it.
Definitely. Also, I think if they already have a system in place, we can talk to them about all of our products are universal to every other company.
Right.
So we can go into it with just doing the nipples. We can do the entire thing. We can talk about different types of products that they would want to just start out with, or if they just want to go in full blast.
Right.
I think a great
System.
complementary product we could probably include is our free service plan that we
For sure.
offer. So that would be kind of good. That kind of be like a draw, like, hey, come to us and we'll service the thing for free. And so that'll be very beneficial to the customer.
Definitely.
But I think moving on to Profile 4.
Definitely.
So, customer profile 4 is Red River Game Birds in Wichita Falls, Texas. Red River Game Birds is a specialty poultry farm focusing on pheasants and quail for hunting preserves and conservation projects. Owned by former wildlife biologist Jacob Reynolds, the farm produces 15,000 game birds annually in a combination of flight pens and enclosed brooder facilities. Water quality and accessibility are crucial for the farm birds, especially during the brooding and growth phases. Jacob has expanded his farm over the last 5 years, working with private landowners, hunting clubs, and state agencies to supply birds for habitat restoration and controlled released hunting programs. With a deep understanding of avian health and biosecurity, he is always looking for ways to improve bird performance and reducing disease risks through better management practices.
So
I think going into this, I'd love to talk to him about hunting. My family, we're big bird hunting people. We love duck hunting, all of that stuff. So I'd really like to kind of talk with him, as he does have, quail and pheasants, which is a big thing that people hunt in this area.
I have to agree with that. Obviously, I go duck hunting during the season. My dad's best friend's a game warden, so it's kind of fun. We go out there with them. We break ice, in the morning. It's like 2 degrees out there. You're breaking ice with your shotgun,
sure.
and it's like
Yeah.
really. But it's a blast. I love hunting. I love duck hunting. I love pheasant hunting. I like dove hunting. Any kind of bird hunting. I love. So it's a really good connection there. I'd be really interested in to see. I'm not too familiar with the pheasants, so I'd be kind of interested. Are they like more of like a duck, or are they more of like a dove? Because that kind of matters with the watering system.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
similar to a dove.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
for sure. One thing I would like to bring up to this customer would be what this facility is like, because it's a combination of flight pens and closed
Brooder pens.
brooder facilities. So
Right.
I've never heard of anything like that personally. So I would ask about that, learn what the barns or the houses, whatever it is, look like.
Yeah, and backing off of that, where does the water source come from?
Yeah.
What are we kind of looking at, is there a hose connected
Do
to
they
it?
have a water
Are they
system in
currently
place?
drinking from
Yeah.
ponds right
Yeah.
now? Kind of, what does that look like?
Definitely. I think also finding out the budget. Not sure that we know the budget right now, so asking that, because that's a big reason that we would like to deal with, just to know where their head's at with our products.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if they don't have a system in place, and yeah,
Agreed.
it's a huge thing.
Agreed. So product-wise, I think it's a little bit tricky.
Definitely.
Just because these are birds that we don't have much kind of understanding with. I think, our just regular easy nipple for this would be the broiler nipple, just because it's easy to trigger. It's just a regular, fast flowing nipple. And I think, these different types of birds are going to need ample water. So I think that's kind of the product I would recommend. And I think a great thing would also be the feathers, the cups, the litter guard cups.
Oh,
Yes,
look.
definitely.
I agree with that.
Just because they really help with bacteria and catching the water. So as he said, he's super interested in kind of the health of their birds and the welfare, and I think our litter guard cups are a great point for that.
And this is kind
Definitely.
of just piggybacking off of what you said, but the Feather Soft High Flow nipple, the broiler nipple, it provides the most amount of water. And like you said, they're going to need ample water. But through the breeding season, the customer stated that their birds are going to need a lot of water to be able to stay healthy. I mean, and
Right.
with biosecurity being a huge thing, the litter guard cups would be something that I would like to recommend to this customer.
Yes, and definitely with them advocating for the health of their birds and just really wanting healthy birds. Our system is very easy to clean. You just open the valve, it flushes out the system in between flocks or whatever he needs, and then the litter guard cups definitely will aid in keeping the birds healthy and making sure that there's nothing getting in their shavings and making them sick or anything like that.
For sure.
Yeah, so I think we're all in accordance with our high flow and litter guard cups. Is that correct?
Yes.
For sure.
All right, perfect. So thank you all for meeting with me. I think this particular customer profile is going to require a little bit more research on all of our ends.
Sure.
For sure.
So I look forward to doing that tonight when I go home. But thank you all for meeting with me. And if you don't mind, we're just going to do the presentation real quick. And so we'll get to it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us today. We have four profiles ready to present. We're going to start with customer one.
All right, so I had profile one. My name is Lillian, and I had Parker Family Poultry right outside of Dalhart, Texas. They currently have 30,000 broilers and 6 houses. So just some rapport building questions that I would bring up to this customer is, what is it like having the children taking over the family-owned business, and what was that transition like for the company? Some probing questions that I would like to ask this customer is, what is their budget, and are they having any problems with their current systems? If so, what are they? Also, for some needs and wants, I know that this customer is huge on biosecurity, so I would ask if they've been having any sicknesses with their birds, and if so, what? For some features and benefits that I would like to bring up to this product is the ability to raise and lower our system with the pulley system. I think that would be a big thing for them with their multi-layered houses. Also, I would like to ask their budget, which may also be an objection. And I know that's a big thing with having such a big business and having so many houses in general. What is their budget? Also, an additional product that I would like to bring up to this customer is the litter guard cups, and the nipple that I would sell to them is the broiler high flow due to how many broilers they have.
Awesome. Okay, so I have customer B. It's West Texas Egg Company. They're a huge laying facility, and so of course, with it being laying hens, I would do the Feather Soft Combi. Some rapport that I could build. I went to West Texas A&M, so we can see if they know anything about that. So I know a lot about West Texas. And then going into some probing questions, what is their budget? They're a huge facility, but I would just like to know what the budget is with so many birds. They're also commercial, so they sell to restaurants and small pharmacies. And so with that, some of their needs and wants are an efficient and clean system. So I'd like to ask, well, what was the problem with your last system? How can we help with that? And also, I would touch on how efficient our system is and the nipple that we have and how clean it is, how easy it is to clean, and how we can use our app to check how clean our system is. I would definitely sell the litter guard cup with them, with our Feather Soft Combi, just to let them have a little bit more reassurance that their chickens are going to be super clean and safe, because that catches all of the water and keeps any bacteria from growing. Again, going back to the budget, cost could definitely be a objection. So settling that and letting them know that it's an investment and that it will be great for your chickens. And then also just letting them know about the warranty and how great it is and that we will keep the upkeep of your system no matter the price.
Yeah, so I had Profile 3, which is High Plains Heritage Farms in Hereford, Texas. They are broiler and layer production, and they have mobile broiler houses with around 3,000 birds per house. So some probing questions would be, what watering system do they currently have, and what does that look like, as well as what birds they want to start with. So they do both broilers and layers, so figuring out which kind of they're more involved with and which should start first would be a great question to ask, as well as budget. Some needs and wants is a sustainable, safe, and biosecure watering system. The product I would recommend would be the Feather Soft High Flow or the Feather Soft Combi, which is our broiler and our layer nipples. Some objections would be how big the system would be and the budget as well. And the complementary product that I would offer is our free servicing and our maintenance, as well as us coming out there and checking everything that could happen. And I would also offer the warranty as a big benefit to them, just because it's super helpful, as well as maintaining assurance and trust within the customer.
Customer 4 is Jacob Reynolds. He owns a pheasant and quail farm in Wichita Falls. He has 15,000 birds in total. They are pretty much spread across multiple different areas. Some of the facilities allow them to take flight, and so that's kind of a big thing when coming into this. So we need to kind of assess, this is kind of our oddball profile, so this is kind of the stuff that's going to require some more research on our end. So I think going into this, not knowing so much is going to kind of keep us on our toes, keep us thinking. So one of our probing questions, however, is kind of like, what's the budget here? Obviously, we were trying to be as flexible as possible with this kind of being a first time with us working with these kind of animals. We need to figure out what we need to do in terms of just the system itself as well. So I think it's going to be very important with the probing questions. We had talked about at the table, kind of introducing him to the high flow nipple for our broilers. We do not know if this will work, however, so it's going to be on us to kind of go in and research what we need to do, so that way we can offer this customer the best possible product that we offer to fit his needs and wants at the end of the day. The litter guard cups are going to be a huge complimentary sale, I think, on this, because if they're flying and the system is up in its highest position, you do not want drippages like that on the birds below. So I think that it's going to be very important that we kind of hit on the fact that this will be catching any drippages and keeping any kind of bedding from getting damp. And kind of talking about what Willow said with our warranty, obviously that we're going to express that our system comes with a warranty. It's a 10-year prorated warranty, and so when you're talking about warranties and stuff, it typically gets buyers to kind of get more generous, and they'll typically kind of bite. But that is Mr. Jacob Reynolds. Thank you for your time today. We've had a pleasure talking to y'all, so thank y'all very much for watching this video as well.